playoffs right now, and we're winning our games substantially.
Well, that's what the announcers say about them. I'm not sure they say that themselves.
Right.
But at least the announcers, because I'm not sure that these teams are telling themselves that they play no defense. Like even New York, I'm sure they don't tell themselves, "Well, we don't play any defense."
Oh no, I'm not saying that.
Tony, they say that's his reputation.
Right. No, I'm not saying.
I'm sure he
I
wouldn't
agree.
say that.
They know that he is not a marker for defense. They understand that. It's not the point the point I'm getting at is that if at the end of the day they have this rule, they say if you can't make a basket, put your body in front of somebody. And when you're not doing that, and I'm going, you guys know what that's like, and you're not doing it at all. To me, it's like you guys say, well, he'll guard him. And I watched, and I kept saying, don't you guys just want to even step in front of him? Take a charge.
Well, that's why they're benched. Like you said, see, that's when you start off, I go like, well, that's why they're benched. In other words, you can only do so much.
Right. At the moment.
You can't do the impossible.
I agree. I agree.
Well, it's not going to happen.
Well, I'm going to do this, too, also, because I believe we're getting the best kind of I think this is one of the best years where you go like, well, who's going to really win the NBA championship? Because there's no true dominance. And I had a question that probably popped up, and I started looking at the stats, Mario, and it was about who is the most valuable and unstoppable force of the NBA playoffs through wins and losses. They just don't stop. And I went and looked at the numbers, and I'm going to give you names. And I'm going to say, now, here's the part that gets
scores, because the numbers, to me, only tell part of the story.
Very good. And that's what I'm saying. If I go down and look at what I call the unstoppable forces, I say, my God, look at these numbers. From Carmelo to Dwight Howard, Dirk Nowitzki, LeBron James, D. Wade, Derrick Rose, Chris Paul, Kobe Bryant, and Kevin Durant. They're all in that 30-plus range of points, and they're doubling up on either their ribbies or rebounds and maybe assists. And I believe the best number I see depends on how much you distribute the ball to convert your other team members to get points scored. And I always look at assists. And I looked at Chris Paul and I said, you got 33.7 rebounds and 14 assists. That means you helped your team as well as scored. Here's my question. Can you look at your top 2 or 3 unstoppable forces and know that they're going to get theirs clearly, win or lose?
No, because they're not unstoppable forces.
Right.
You know what? Unfortunately, again, because this is numbers and all that, and tend to favor also more recent people.
Right.
The most unstoppable forces in NBA history, to me, are not on there because the number one unstoppable force was Larry Bird. And I say that as a long time, at the time, Lakers fan. In other words, the most scary person with the ball in the last 10 seconds of the game, by far, was Larry Bird.
Over Jordan?
Over Jordan.
You really?
Yes, to me, yes. And Larry Bird was the most scary person and shot 100% at that time.
Right. And
certainly, to me, when you look at impact in terms of unstoppable, it had to do with those people who would strike fear. Now, notice that you mentioned, I was about to get to my other 2 people.
Right.
Jordan was another one.
Right.
Okay. And you could also add Jabbar.
Right.
Because the skyhook had become something that you could count on.
Right.
So it depends on, and they don't make the numbers in terms of individual performances per se.
Right.
But it had to do with who was going to score, who shot what in the last parts of those games.
Right.
And those are some of the people who did.
Right.
And there's some other very famous ones too.
Right.
But again,
you don't see anybody on this list right now that may be what you would consider the supreme unstoppable force, that they're all about in the same league.
No, I would have to say Kobe's in a league by himself.
Okay.
I think you have to just kind of give that to him.
Okay.
I don't think the other people have proven it yet.
Right.
I don't think Carmelo has. I think it's his you're looking toward the future.
Right.
I don't think LeBron has. The whole thing is, when you get and even though it may be fair, unfair, it's the impression that in the biggest of games that you don't take control.
True.
That has to be proven. True. And it's only been seen. Kevin Durant hasn't proven that.
Yeah.
I mean, in the biggest games, that's what they look with. That's based on what the criteria you're using.
Yeah, I agree.
That's why I said I had to go back. Michael Jordan, Larry Bird. You can't. I don't really put Magic in the same group. He's in that second tier to me.
Right.
With Bird and Jordan in that aspect.
Right.
Of changing games at that moment, that segment.
Right.
then after that, there's a big gap.
Right.
Then there's another segment. But no, I don't think any of these people other than Kobe.
Okay. Yeah.
Other than Kobe, but you have to give it to Kobe. I don't think Dwayne Wade yet either.
No. They said right now, based on numbers, everybody knows that right now the best clutch player in clutch time doesn't mean the best player across the board as it relates to all categories is Kobe. You go like this, no matter how much you love or hate him, you go like, he lives for the clutch moment. Guess who's number 2 statistically? Statistically, based on having last shot opportunities, this person kind of popped up, and I didn't even think about it.
Dirk Nowitzki.
Nope.
Who?
Carmelo Anthony. He popped up. And when I looked at the numbers, they said, you guys don't realize it because he just hasn't been focused the same way in the categories of the Jordans and the Dwayne Wades and LeBrons. But he said, when you take the numbers of converting clutch shots at clutch moments, he's probably, right now they're saying number 2. Now, it could be plus or minus because it goes per game. But you're right. I would say Kobe is the one who's your clutch player. And necessarily, like I said, what's an unstoppable force? So
right. In other words, to me, it's those people like, it's almost a given, that they're going to get it. There's teams like that in football, for example, with it's 2 yards. There's no way when they need to get 3 yards, they get 3 yards.
Yeah.
Period. They're just known for that.
Yep.
They're just, you can stop them, but when they need 3, they just get 3.
Get 'em.
And I'm just saying, there are those people who you just expect them to hit it. Kobe but it's going to be a jump shot, see, to me.
Right.
As opposed to some of the people who can,
Right. No, I agree with you. Well, this is the part we like because coming, this is going to be the part where I go like this. You guys follow my tweets. Y'all say, follow Victor Allen. But I'm going to say this right offhand. We're going to find out who really delivers tonight because the Lakers are, on the floor tonight against the Hornets and Chris Paul. And I think Chris Paul has said, I think I've made my way back here. And I'm doing a very good job without my fully loaded team. So we're going to see that later this evening. It'll be a good time. If it goes 0-2 against the Lakers, oh, man, I can't wait to see what happens in the Southland. But in the meantime, you guys, there's a man named Bobby Knight. And, recently, and this has already been reported, he's back with the attack against, Calipari's Kentucky. Now, should I say Kentucky's Calipari? Because he had a speaking engagement. And this is not new news. It's already been out there for a couple of days, where he was in Wabash, Indiana, where he said the starting 5 of the players in the NCAA basketball tournament last year, didn't go to their class during the spring. So it was his way of saying, that this declining academic integrity is happening right now. This man is spoken out. Now, of course, he has apologized.
I don't know what his graduation record was. It's out there. They publish those things.
Well, yeah.
Who graduates more of their players.
Right. But now here's the part that they was really, okay, I've heard him on an announcement say, okay, these one and dones. Coaches from the old school can't stand one and dones. One and dones, 1 year in, 1 year out. And because Calipari has had what they call violations in the history, he went after him and then added more and said none of his players, of course, have the integrity. Well, unfortunately, the players he was referring to, one of them finished under 4 years, in 3 years, and graduated. And the rest of the players graduated, of course, with no problem, no concern, and met all criteria. So they all met the standard that he was complaining. Now, after his apology, which we all know that is always a different type of apology, which I know I could get into, I said, forget Bobby Knight as it relates to what type of apology. He said, I was trying to deal with the one and done. So I said, let's just find out what is in Bobby's head. And Mario, I always like to put everybody on the couch. You're the therapist.
What's in Bobby's head?
What's in Bobby's head?
Right.
So he sits down. You sit down. You said, no, Bobby, lay down. Okay, I need you to lay down. Put your head on the couch. What's Bobby Knight's goal? Message or problem? So I have some choices here. Mario, I know Mario. He'll say, well, that's not all the choices I would put. But in the meantime, this is Bobby Knight. So you only get the choices that's available to you. Here it is. What is his problem, if that is an issue, or message or goal? Getting old makes you go blind. He cares about the players. Parents are crap. NBA spells barbarians at the gate. Come on in. Let me help you with anger management. You're the therapist, Mario. What do you think the message is that Bobby's trying to sell when he attacks a college institution and its coach?
That he cares about the players.
Well, you know what? That's a cop-out. That's a cop-out.
What do you mean, man? He's obviously a lover of players.
No, he's not. Wait a minute. Let's just say it.
Look at that face.
Come on, man.
That is a face that speaks love.
See, you know what?
It sells love.
He'll jump on.
You can tell he has a tender moment. That's Bobby Knight is the kind of guy that'll pull you aside and say, hey,
You know what?
take a deep breath. Smell the roses.
See, this is a cop-out.
Feel the time. Who cares about winning? It's about life.
You know what?
It's about learning life's lessons.
You're the therapist, and you're going to listen to that? That's what he's going to say?
I'm sure that's what Bobby Knight means in his own way.
Wait.
Look at that. This man has no lips.
Wait a minute.
He's gone through his whole life with no lips. And he still manages to smile.
Okay, I'm leaving this alone.
I would say, take a look at him. Look at that picture.
We have been looking at him.
He has no lips.
Okay.
And he can still. How would you feel, Vic? Out there trying to coach, not able to get. Probably spitting all over everybody. He has no lips. So I just want you to know.
Wait a minute.
He obviously a man who cares for folks.
Yeah.
He has that fatherly, loving quality.
Yes, he does. Right.
And he is our father figure
Right.
of 2011. Vic.
Okay. He made his choice, and I'm going to make mine. I don't know about all this love. I hear, all of a sudden, you start hearing butterfly wings flapping.
There is love.
And the singing of the troop in the background. I'm not going with that. I'm going to limit mine to two choices. I'm going to say, what's going on? Number one, I think the NBA spells barbarians at the gate. Come on in. Why? Because that's the reason why the players are going like, I'm rushing to get to the goal while I'm at this school. You should, if you want to have a problem with the institution, do that. But don't wait till the players sit up here and say, I have the choice of going to the place to enrich my life, to do what I love doing the best. You want to coach and argue at people, you go ahead. I want to play. Should I wait longer? And I still know the consequences of my actions. So I'm going to say, number one, that the barbarians at the gate, that's who he's rebelling against. I hate
That's
the
not
system.
one of the choices.
Yes,
Vic.
it is. NBA spells barbarians at the gate. Come on in.
Oh, okay.
You see. Number two, my other one is, let me help you with anger management. See, I always say, it's good to get angry. Let your feelings be expressed. You're the therapist, Mario. Wouldn't you tell him to continue to express his feelings, whether angry or otherwise?
I think he's done a wonderful job of opening up, sharing his inside, his feelings, in a very appropriate way.
See,
I celebrate
all this
if
political.
only all men could be as open, as kind, as loving as Bobby Knight.
I'm going to the next
There would
subject.
be no war.
There'd
be no war.
I'm going to the next subject. He just crapped out on me. I can't believe this. Next time I'm going to bring a Kobe picture with a therapy response. Watch what happens. And we'll do that next time we're live.
Kobe, too, has found his inner joy. His inner joy.
Let's go. All right. We're going to go to the next one. Shocked, stunned, or expected. And since we're kind of tilted for time here, I've only have a couple of situations here. But I just want to know, are you shocked, stunned, or expected to hear about what's in an explosive device? And when you see this picture, this man looks happy. He looks like he's just doing a wonderful job. That is the, of course, European soccer Celtic manager, Neil Lennon. And Neil, somehow or another, they found explosives, 4 explosive devices that was headed toward him. They're sent to him, and they intercepted the bombs, and they were all determined hoaxes.
So they sent him 4 fake bombs were sent to him.
4 bombs, and they determined they were hoaxes.
Who sent them?
Yeah, we don't know.
He could have sent them himself.
Yeah, that's very possible.
So what's your point here?
And my point is, are you shocked to hear that 4 bombs were sent to a coach?
4 fake bombs.
Well, I wonder if they're not fake.
You said they're fake.
Do you believe everything I say?
No, I don't even.